Good morning. Welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads or youtube.com/Ice Cream Uploads or wherever you digest this content. Hi, how you doing? My name is Graham Day and I'm joined by Bib. I'll read Bib.
Good after morning, Graham. Oh no, it's still morning.
Yeah, good after early morning.
Yeah. There's bang on time. Well, I say bang on time. We're just an hour later than originally scheduled, but it's definitely not the latest that we've ever gone live.
Well, it's 11:08 and we've been live for 9 minutes. So we went live at 10:59. So that is 10 a.m.ish.
We'll take that.
Goddamn right. Anyway, welcome in. How you doing? How you doing? If you don't know who this is, whatever, you get the words. My name is Graham. This is Bib. We are Ice Cream Uploads in true Ice Cream fashion. This is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, if we do say so ourselves. We are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, where we go live sometimes at 10 a.m. ish. On twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. Yeah, we usually go live at 10 a.m. ish each and every single weekday. But we've been busy the last few weeks. There's been a lot of stuff with the studio, refitting, reorganizing, rejigging, just to make content creation better, easier, and more sellable, so that we can keep money coming into the studio, so we can make it bigger and prettier and better and do more cool things. And it's all working, and it's all great, and it's all good. And we will be live today, bringing you cool content, but not tomorrow, because we're doing cooler content, not cooler, but a different kind of cool content. We will be in Manchester with about 30 of our buddies, because we're going to Format Manchester at FormatGG on Twitter, if you don't know the account. Basically, myself and Bib been talking about going to Format for about a year. There's been 3 Format events that we've been interested in going to. The first 2 we couldn't go to. One of them was like clashing with a Gamescom. The other one was then clashing with one of our events, I think maybe the community meetup or something like that. I can't quite remember which one it was. And then this one, Format, which is tomorrow, we decided, you know what, sorry, it's local. We've not gone for the last 2 times. We will support our local events. So we're going. And we threw the invite out, said, everyone, come along. It'll be good to meet you. And now there's 30 people coming. 30 people that I mean, shout out to 12, because I think he was a big energizer in getting the majority of those people to come along. A few people went, yeah, I'm interested, I'll come and go. Nice. But 12 threw the invite down, and there's like 30 UK PUBG community people that are coming. So we will be not on stream tomorrow, but you will probably see, if you do follow us on any of our socials, !socials in the chat, you will probably see pictures from the Ice Cream Uploads account, my account at Graham_Day, or at We've Got Babinho on Twitter. You'll probably see lots of stuff from our accounts on the Twitter. So yeah, please do feel free to get involved, because we won't be on stream, but we will be doing stuff. Nice. Anyway, if you are watching the stream, please do feel free to get involved. We will be live, that's what I meant to say, for the next hour or so, bringing you the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games, because this is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, if we do say so ourselves. Anyway, we will be bringing you the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories, plus our thoughts and impressions, and we want your thoughts and impressions, and then your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. That's kind of how the whole thing works. So if you are in the stream, please do feel free to get involved, and it's important that you do, because we may be live on Twitch, but as always, the live stream is turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Google Play. There's lots of places where over 200,000 people have watched and listened to this podcast, so please do feel free to get involved on behalf of the beautiful people that watch later on. But can't get involved. Nice. Before we jump into the show, a couple of talking points. 1, PUBG is adding a clan system. We've decided, as pretty much every other creator out there will do, to make an ICU clan. Feel free to jump in. You don't have to. But we're offering you some rewards for doing so. We will share the asset once we've made the clan system. But spoilers, if you join our clan system and you share it on social media, we will give you a chance to win an Astro A10 headset and 5,000 G-coin to spend in PUBG. That's console only, obviously. You can't none of this PC stuff. We're not the master race when we play PUBG most of the time. Only 1% of the time, and it's usually testing for events and stuff. But yeah, if you do want to get involved as part of the ICU clan, if you do want to rep ICU, then do feel free to jump in to the clan. Anyone that is in the clan, and this is where it's cool, because there is a limit to the number of people that can join into a clan. So there's going to be an element of first come, first served, and there will be if you think about it, high percentage chance of winning. There's not going to be one of those retweet where 500 people can retweet. And Janet Smith, mother of two, who just is here for just the fun times and vibes, who all she does is retweet. She's not even called Janet Smith. She's Duncan Ferguson from Everton. Not that one, obviously, a different one. But like, yeah, all they do is retweet stuff. This will be people that have applied to and got into the ICU clan. So it'll be one of our buddies. That's what this was great about it. So someone will get a reward. So yeah, feel free to keep your eyes out for that. Also, I did mention the other week that we will have another prize that will be opened up that will last for a long period of time from one of our partners. We don't want to say names, but as I said previously, sounds a bit like Schmodgitech. Schmodgitech. That's all we're going to say. I mean, I know you can't guess what that sort of is. Anyway, that will be coming soon. We're just finalising that with Logitech, and then we'll get that announced soon. So nice. Lots of rhymes with dodgy tech. I mean, it does a little bit, I suppose, but it's only in rhyming and nothing else. Nice. Whew. Breathe in again. Take a breath, G. Thanks for it. Other reminders. Obviously, we won't be live tomorrow because we're going to be at format. There's a possibility we won't have a stream on Friday, depending on how chaotic format is.
Yeah, I've got a meeting at 9:30 on Friday as well.
Fun times.
The camera's not going on.
Just, hi, how you doing?
I'll just have to wear my ICU sunglasses, won't I?
Yeah, exactly. Anyone that is going to format. There is about 20 of these up for grabs, but there's like 30 people going, and random people on social media have already been asking for pairs of these. So if you are wanting some ICU spectacles, you got to be quick, because once again, first come, first served. I'm not going to be held to keep a pair for me because we're buddies. I mean, there's lots of people that want them, so it is what it is. It is what it is. The other thing to mention is there will be no, despite saying it the other day, realizing how stressful it is, and the fact that most of the people that I'm going to be playing with are coming to format, there will be no chasing crates with mates tonight. We aren't going to play PUBG this evening because, obviously, we need to get set for format, and everyone else that we know is either getting set, or if you're at 12, you're probably 6 hours into your journey by the time we start PUBG this evening. So there will be no chasing crates with mates tonight. However, and this one is a loose one, we might be on stream later on because there is the PlayStation Showcase tonight. And because not playing chasing crates with mates, there is a chance that we may just do a reasonably casual just chatting sort of stream where we watch along the PlayStation Showcase. We just have a little bit of a chinwag. Jobs are good, and there's no playing games. It's just chilling, watching the showcase. So if you are thinking about watching the showcase and you do want some buddies to watch it with, but it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and all your buddies are at home and stuff because we're not kids anymore and we're not allowed to go and just hang around at our mates' houses until midnight because that's socially unacceptable, which is bullshit if you ask me. But there you go. Then do feel free to join me and Bib. Nice. Don't diss Janice. She slays at shooters. Good lass, Janice. Yes, sir. Look at this. What is this? Is this? That's surely not the gold. That's not the golden capper, is it? I don't believe it. That's some sort of hackage. Maybe is it BTTV or something? I don't know. I don't believe you've got the golden capper. Does the golden capper still exist?
What's the deal with the golden capper?
Basically, there's a capper emote on Twitch. Nice. But then there's a golden capper which one person gets per day or something like that. One random person will get their capper will be the golden capper. Right. And then it'll be gone again. I didn't even know if that was still a thing. But it says exclamation. It just says capper on it. It doesn't say Twitch global emote on it though, so that's fake. It's fake. Just a comment. The picture is quite dark and keeps going in and out of focus. Maybe it's the black shirt. The picture is dark. I mean, the black shirt t-shirt is dark because there is no pattern in it apart from like an orange dot there and the super dry bit on the sleeve there. But is it dark for everyone else? Does it keep going in and out of focus for everyone else? Or is it same? I don't know. It looks okay to me. It looks okay to me. Maybe turn your brightness up if you're watching it. It's been fine for me. Nope, she's fine.
Yeah, Plum's taking the piss.
God damn it.
Plum's playing with Plums.
Anyway, let me jump into the split screen. That'll give you more of Bibby to look at. It's pretty bright over there, so jump a good one. Hi, Bib.
Hello.
Looking forward to
How are we
format.
doing? I am looking forward to format. I'm getting a cold sore at the wrong time. Well, I mean, not that I'll be going around kissing everyone. Do you know what I mean?
Bollocks.
Unless you want it, because
He's only saying that. He's only saying that because Samantha's in the house, and he's just letting. Yeah. Really though, Snogs. How much is it? 50p this time, or are we setting the bar a little higher? What we're saying?
quid.
Oof,
Quid.
oof.
Need to buy them shots. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I don't go out drinking all that often anymore. It's very rare. I mean, I genuinely don't think that I've been out drinking this year so far. Like since Joseph's come along, my desire to have an alcoholic beverage has just gone to an all-time low. So yeah, tomorrow should be interesting, and then I've got a gig, like a tribute gig on Saturday, and the Saturday afternoon, and then in the evening it's my mate's dad's 60th. So yeah, Sunday's going to be Friday and Sunday are going to be putting me probably back on the wagon again. To be fair,
I'm looking forward to Sunday's stream. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Just be like 9 o'clock in the morning. All right, boys.
it's a sleeping stream. Sorry guys, I haven't told you it's a sleeping stream.
You guys look as beautiful as ever. All right, Lee. You gorgeous love. Thanks, mate. It's like yin and yang, G in the dark and Bibby milky white. I mean, it's just a LUT.
Yeah.
I've got a LUT, LUT LUT on my camera. If I take that off, I just look like, yeah, Casper, absolute. Tito tribute act.
I need to move this light a little higher. You can see the glow off it, can't you? You see the glow off it in the top. I need to get myself another one of them Amazon tripods that I've got. Like if I move it out of the way, it starts to look quite crispy, doesn't it?
Yeah,
but just one side of my face is just yeah. So I need to get another tripod. Another tripod so I can have this one a little higher rather than it being quite close to my face still.
Can you get reverse goths? Yeah, Bibby's the shtog. There you go. Well
reverse goths, bastard.
Dog. Nice. Tito tribute act. What would we were talking tribute acts and tribute act names yesterday when Bibby was talking about tribute act, like the obvious ones like your Oasis-ish and stuff like that.
Yep.
What would a tribute act be for Tito? Someone think about that. Whilst you guys think about that, let me remind you about our sponsors as always.
So you don't?
Ooh. But then again, that's not really good at sales. I mean, it works, but it's you're not going to get many tickets. Don't.
Well, I mean, Iffy Clyro is definitely up there with some of my favourite ones.
Yeah, that's badass. That's badass. Couldn't remember the greatest gig in the world. No. This is just the tributes. I heard that yesterday. Bibby had that on in the new editing.
I did in the studio.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, we got a nice little Sonos speaker in the corner, so when we go in there and we're messing about in the studio or something, just mirror your phone to it. Bosh, job's a good one.
Hashtag ad. Shout out to 2K for giving us the Sonos speaker. It's not a hashtag ad. They basically, because Bibby is the best golfer in the world, they hooked us up with the PGA 2K launch bundle, which included a big box that included like Bibby's twisting his melon man bucket hat, but also a Sonos speaker. So nice.
I should have took that for format.
You what?
Yeah.
You bucket
I should have took the bucket out for format.
Can't believe you're not. If I'm honest, I'm pretty disappointed. Genuinely. Fumes, mate. Fumes. Do you know, you're wearing your ICU jersey. Last night I was thinking, should I wear my ICU jersey? I'm not going to wear my ICU jersey to format, but part of me was like, ooh, maybe, but I'm not gonna, because it's just not, it's not the material that you want to be on the dance floor with at like 1 o'clock in the morning after a few beers and a burger about 5 hours earlier. The sweat would be real, so I'm not going to bother with it. I'm going to leave it.
Great.
Teed-a-goo? Is that Agadoo? I don't know what you're doing with that one. But okay, nice. Anyway, shout out to Astro, shout out to Logitech, shout out to GT Omega. These are all our sponsors. If you are after a new chair, a new headset, or any peripherals, be that PC peripherals like a new mouse or a new keyboard or anything, please do feel free to use any of our discount codes. We are sponsored by them, so feel free to take our stuff as meager corporate shilling if you want. But we only ever get sponsored by brands that we use or work with or appreciate. So we use GT Omega before we were sponsored. We used Astro before we were sponsored. Not so much with Logitech. You know, yeah, screw those guys. No, Logitech is part of the Astro company. And This mouse is badass, by the way. If you've got tiny little hands like me with my little midget fingers, then
Or big hands like me with my big sausage fingers.
yeah, look at that United Red mouse that he's got there. Let's go. Let's go.
I know. It's the only thing that doesn't stay on straight. I mean, yeah, it should be behind me then as well, but we're not going to talk about that.
TED
Straight
Expo.
fart now, aren't you?
I was reading the. It's because I've got Kajagugu in the chat and Kajagu. Eating burger right now. Enjoy. Give me the details. What we've got on it. We're talking chicken. We're talking beef. What's bacon's, cheeses. Give me the details. Give me the details. Nice. Anyway, for now though, we are going to jump into some news. That's what we're here for. It's nice to have a little bit of a chat. We do like a little bit of a chinwag, but yesterday, because it was the first stream in like 3 weeks, we had a bit of about half an hour of a chinwag. So we're cutting that short today. Only by a touch, and jumping into the news. So the first story that we have for you guys today is about Square Enix will not be making Final Fantasy 17. Dun, dun, dun. A nice little bit of click bib on the thumbnail there. Well, they technically won't be making Final Fantasy 17 because Square Enix has discussed ditching numbered Final Fantasy titles. Look at that, absolute click bib. So yeah, basically, Final Fantasy games will still be made, but they won't just be called 17, 18, 19, 20 because that's confusing as fuck by the time you get to 5, let alone 17. So they're going to change the naming format of that. That's where we're going to kick things off. Then we're going to go back into a Sony loving because it's the greatest brand in the world of console video. I'm not joking. It's not. Well, it depends on your perspective. If you think it is, fine, fill your boots. But Insomniac insists that Spider-Man 2 is a single-player game. This is after some recent controversy around that. Stick around. We'll jump into that. Sticking with PlayStation. PlayStation says it will soon reveal, air quotes, aggressive plans for crowd gaming. Nice, cloud gaming. Then Xbox Game Pass continues its hot streak with another critically acclaimed game launching tomorrow. So if you got Xbox Game Pass and you want something new to play, we have details of a new game that will be hitting Xbox Game Pass yesterday, because this article was a couple of days old. So it will be out there for you to get now. And then we'll wrap things up ahead of the PlayStation Showcase tonight with a completely different showcase, because why not? Summer Game Fest will be taking place in a couple of weeks, and there is going to be 3 or 4 pretty big announcements at that event. We will jump into that article and have a little bit of a look. But for now, Mr. Bibb.
Yes.
Final Fantasy, yay or nay?
Yes, I'm not. Again, it's a franchise that I have definitely played a lot of games in. Am I an absolute diehard fan of Final Fantasy? No. Do I know the lore of every single character? Absolutely not. However, I do enjoy playing the games, and we actually looked at the first 4 hours yesterday as IGN had the exclusive of the first 4 hours of Final Fantasy 16, and #Bibby game absolutely confirmed.
100%. Just before we jump into it, you know what they say about small hands? Massive ego. Yeah. Correct.
Confirmed.
Nice.
That's life.
Just call it Final Fantasy 1 like Mortal Kombat did. Yep, or the Xbox One. Yeah, just you can't figure it. 1. Start again. Yeah, nice. Would have said it sooner, but I was too shy. Hush, hide eye. Oh dear. Absolute Kajagugu jokes. If you are younger than 75, then welcome to the podcast. This probably didn't make sense to you, but welcome in. Hey. If that game is FIFA 23 in Game Pass, I will unsub and unfollow instantly. It's not FIFA 23. You'll have to stick around for the end of the show to find out what it is, though. But for now, Tom Ivan at VGC says, Square Enix has discussed ditching numbered Final Fantasy titles. They give players the impression they need to play older games first, says Final Fantasy 16's producer. I love the fact that they realised this on the 16th iteration. Oh, yeah. We probably should think about changing this 16 titles later. Nice one, lads. A bit slow on the uptake, but you got there. Square Enix has discussed the possibility of dropping numbers from Final Fantasy games titles, according to the producer of the latest series entry. In an interview with GQ, which, been there, done that, Bibby's already been featured. ICU has been in GQ already this year, so a nice one, Square Enix. You're almost at the same level of ICU, but we appreciate it. In an interview with GQ, Final Fantasy 16 producer Naoki Yoshida suggested using numbers in mainline series entries could be off-putting for new players who think they might need to have played the previous games to enjoy the latest one. Quote, a lot of players are going to come in and they're going to look at it like a comic book where you have to read from the beginning to what's going on to know what's going on now. He said it's hard for marketing because every numbered title that we release in the series will have to go into it like it's okay, you don't have to play the rest of them. End quote. Yoshida was asked if Square Enix could stop releasing numbered series entries for good. Quote, that's actually something I've discussed with the higher ups, he replied. Maybe it's about time we remove the numbers from the title. For example, you have Final Fantasy 14, you get a new player coming in and it's like, quote, wait a minute, why do I have to play Final Fantasy 14 if 16 is out? Why don't we just call it Final Fantasy Online? Just get rid of the number altogether and that'll make it all easier to understand. Whether Final Fantasy 17 or Final Fantasy 18 should have a number or not, that's going to be on whoever has to develop that game and whoever's in charge of the branding. So that's their problem, not ours, end quote. Final Fantasy 16, you love the solidarity within the team there. Fuck you guys. Final Fantasy 16 will be released for PS5 on June the 22nd. Okay, then it goes into a little bit about the preview of the game. If you want to see that stuff, do feel free to check this article from Tom Ivan at VGC or any of the other articles. There's quite a few out there. As Bibi mentioned, IGN did have a 4-hour preview on this, so feel free to take a look. But for now, Final Fantasy says having numbered sequels, 16 sequels in, 16 editions in, can damage uptake of a game. We've mentioned this a bajillion times. Talking about games like Metal Gear is always the one that comes to me. Big Metal Gear fan. But
no one would ever know.
I know, imagine. But 5 mainline title games, not including your Peace Walkers and stuff like that, and then your Acids of the world, but like 5 mainline title games, 6 if you include Ground Zeroes on Phantom Pain and 2 separate ones, but you get the idea. Some released after others, but set before others, and Solid Snake and Liquid Snake and Naked Snake and Phantom Snake. Blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. There's a lot of stuff that people have to bring into it. And the thing is, with something like Metal Gear Solid, a lot of that stuff does carry forward. But for a Final Fantasy where the game could be another title in the series, but completely a fresh new story that doesn't require any previous knowledge, people don't understand that. And genuinely, as someone that doesn't play Final Fantasy games, I thought Final Fantasy 16 and 17 would have had 16 games worth of beef, weight, churn stuff behind that. So it's an interesting insight for me. What are your thoughts, babe?
I just think it's a modern day thing. Like, the stories don't follow on with each other. Like, there's different versions of the game. There's so many different spin-offs. Like, they've just recently released Crisis Core, which was originally a PSP game. Like, that isn't included in the numbered franchises. They had Type 0 as well. That wasn't included in the numbered sequels, despite it having a number in there. Like, there's just so many different spin-offs of this game. It doesn't make sense anymore to have this timeline. So, what's the word I'm looking for? Chronological? Because they're genuinely not. It doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, when you get to franchises like Saw 6, Saw 7, or whatever, and then they started making Spiral and things like that, it's probably best to have the name of the franchise and then maybe a colon with a completely different name or the name of that particular game. I feel like that definitely would separate the confusion out from what it is that you're expecting from the game. You don't get to 16 and then have all the sequels and go, do you know what? We probably shouldn't be doing this again. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Because we've said it many times on this podcast, you'd assume that you'd have to play the other 15 before you get to 16. And a lot of times that isn't the case. It definitely isn't for Final Fantasy. 100%. Like, there's no way you'd be able to inherit all of and take in all the stories that have been told beforehand. So yeah, this Final Fantasy 16 game looks absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see more of it. It's the first Final Fantasy game in a long time that's actually caught my attention. I think the last one that I played was on the 360. Was it 14? Final Fantasy 14, Xbox 360.
You mentioned something similar yesterday, and I said that's incorrect because what you meant to say was Final Fantasy 10 on the PS3, PS2, I think it was.
Is that because it didn't have Blitzball?
Yeah, that's the one that had Blitzball, so that's the only one that we play. For anyone that doesn't know, Blitzball is basically it's almost Quidditch, but underwater. It's a football-y side game, and that's where I spent all of my time. So yeah, there you go. It tells you all you need to know about me.
I actually can't remember which one it was. Was it 15? Oh, it wasn't 15 because that's more recent.
There was 13 that came out with the Xbox 360.
Ah,
They did like a
that's
faceplate
it.
bundle and so on. I owned the game, but never actually played it. I got it free with when my Xbox red ringed for the 72nd time on the Xbox 360, and the cheapest Xbox was the Final Fantasy 13 version that came with the faceplate and the Final Fantasy branded hard drive that stuck on top kind of thing. So I bought that one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it was 13, correct. That was the last one that I played, and obviously there's been the Final Fantasy MMO that's come out that was scrapped not long after launch because it was so bad, and then ended up completely redoing it from the ground up, and it is now considered one of the best, if not the best MMO that's out there at the moment in time, obviously competing with Elder Scrolls Online, World of Warcraft, Black Desert, and all the other ones that are currently going through the motions. So, yeah, Final Fantasy at one time or another, I think didn't have the best future ahead of them. However, I feel like in the last 5 or 6 years, they seem to be absolutely nailing it. They've been knocking every single game out the park, and it seems to be on one of the biggest upward trajectories that I've seen. Alongside again Resident Evil, we've seen those games being remade and going back into everyone's forefront when they're thinking of a horror game. So it's the same with Final Fantasy. Like I didn't see a long-term future for it, despite it being one of the biggest IPs in the world in video game history.
It's
But here we are.
amazing to see, though, that Final Fantasy VII, for a lot of people, is the greatest game of all time. Not everyone, but a lot of people think that. And a lot of people will swear their lives on Resident Evil games. And you go back 10 years, and both Final Fantasy and Resident Evil were living on borrowed time / previous times. They were living on the name that they generated, and that only lasts so long. People will peddle shit and people will buy shit for only so long before, do you know what, Resident Evil's dead in it. Final Fantasy's dead in it. And they were both incredibly close to that point. But both Square Enix and Capcom have managed to turn it around for both of those titles. Resident Evil, once again, is a showstopper. It is a headline title. I mean, it's spanned a bajillion Hollywood films. Not all of them great. And if only they'd make a Netflix series, because they haven't done that yet, because I don't ever remember watching any Resident Evil. Fucking shit. No, but
I told you, there was a massive warning when that came out, and I was like...
there was a warning on like episode 2 and 3 as well, but I was like, no, I'm watching it. Just because I've started it, and they can't get... I can't remember his name now. The dude from The Wire that passed away just a few weeks or a couple of months ago. So that you can't get him in a Resident Evil story on Netflix and can it after one season. So I'm going to finish the season because they'll hopefully do better in that. And it's been cancelled. Oh, fuck's sake. What a fucking waste.
Land something.
I
can't remember.
If anyone knows his name, please do feel free to drop it in the chat. Serious question though, bid. Playing games, numbered sequels and stuff like that. JMK says PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. Does that mean I need to play all of them before I can play PlayStation 5?
Well, don't start with the Xbox naming franchise then, because you'll be the Charlie Day meme where he's just pressing his hands against the wall with fucking wires and everything going towards different things. Like, yeah, that shit's really, really, really confusing. If you don't know anything about, obviously we live in the video game world. Lance Reddick, that was it. I wanted to say Ruddock, and I couldn't get that out of my head. You know when you have a name in your head, and no matter what anyone says, you think, okay, no, it's definitely that.
No, I can fully relate, because I had Riddick in my mind, like Chronicles of Riddick, like Vin Diesel in space, but I was like, it can't be Riddick, right?
Yeah.
Neil Razor Reddick.
But yeah,
Stay frosty.
I honestly, like, this is the first game, I know I mentioned it a couple of minutes ago, but this is the first Final Fantasy game that I am super looking forward to, and I definitely can't recommend watching the IGN first 4 hours. I mean, it's not actually 4 hours. I think they've broken it down to like a 25-minute video of what to expect from it, but it looks badass. It looks very Game of Thronesy, for those of you that obviously have watched that. It looks...
It doesn't. It does not. And that is bullshit, because that is an undersell, because he's already mentioned it and I mentioned it to him yesterday. It looks #Bibby game. That's what it looks.
It does. It looks like you're at King's Landing in some of it.
Well, the best thing is the fact that you go back 12 months and I was like, I can't believe you've not watched Game of Thrones. That is #Bibby TV. There's dragons and all this fucking long sword.
Don't blame me for that. Don't blame me for that.
But now he gets it. I mean, yeah, mediocre ending, but still, now he gets it.
I didn't mind the ending, but still, that wasn't on me not watching Game of Thrones. Like, I don't have that much TV watching time when I'm trying to play games and stuff like that. And if the wife doesn't want to watch it, chances are I'm probably not going to watch it. And she didn't want to watch it for the longest time until someone started watching it on fucking TikTok, and she goes, "Actually, this might be something that I'm interested in." And then lo and behold, it fucking absolutely adored it. So yeah, maybe I should start sending her TikToks of things that I want to watch, and then maybe we end up watching a few things.
Yeah, bouncing boobs and floppy penises everywhere. It's just...
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's what we called it. It's fucking great.
Precision. Thank you for the 17-month shaggers. Yes, you are. Do they look like shaggers? Yes, they are, etc. Thank you very much, OP3. OP3. OP3, why are you not in Manchester, Shistershire tomorrow? Because you're missing out on spectacular items of merch.
Agreed.
Fucking hell, size of this moth.
It's disappointing. Maybe I should have asked Degs, and then he would have brought Precision down.
Yeah.
Because obviously Degs wears the pants in that relationship.
Yeah, little pants, but he still wears them. Jump back up. Let me jump back up. 12. I'll read. We're talking about you a little bit ago. I'm not going to tell you whether it was good or bad. You'll have to look back through the video on YouTube later on to watch it. Yeah, baby. 24 hours. Let's go. Goddamn right. Update on the burger situation, by the way. I was speaking to the dude that owns that burger place, who's the guy that's basically sorting out the burger drop last night. It's not looking good. I mean, even if that looks bad, we still have an incredible option. So I think we're not going to get that burger place burgers. Basically, the guy that I wanted to get as the burgers, I think he's just been married. And he's in New York, Las Vegas, and stuff like that. He told me he was going away, but he would have been back in time. However, you know, you want to get married and honeymoon once, so they've extended their stay. Basically, he's the one that makes shit happen. So if he's not there, his staff can sling burgers like the best of them, but packaging up a drop of 30 in the middle of Manchester and stuff is a little bit like, I need to speak to the manager, but he is the manager.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I'm after we finish this, I'm double checking because I never actually cancelled our Almost Famous booking because I thought that would be the case. So I'm gonna double check everything's good with Almost Famous. I believe it will be. The only thing is, obviously, if we'd have been ordering from that burger place, it would have been a fixed fee. I was hoping it was going to be like 10 quid, get your meal, bosh. Almost Famous is based on, because it's a restaurant, it's based on their prices. So anyone that gets there from 2 to 4 will spend 10 quid on their burger and chips and stuff. Anyone that gets there after will spend more, and that's on them. So we can only do what we could do. So if you're getting burgers and you get there early, it'll be cheaper. You get burgers and you get there later, it'll be a bit more expensive, but it'll all be shit hot regardless. So nice. So feel free to tell everyone the food will still be pretty much the exact same place. Rather than sitting in Great Northern Square's bowl, we will be 30 foot away inside Almost Famous, which looks at Northern Square's bowl. So same. And it also means it's probably going to be easier because we don't have to sort this weird situation of, do I give you the money? Do you take the money off me or whatever? Everyone can just pay for their own burgers. Jobs are good. Nice. So they did a WWE. That's why WrestleMania was called X7. On 7 Woods, they've flipped it again.
Pass.
I agree, David. Yes. Shaggy,
I hate
yes,
the Roman
he is.
numerals thing. I never got round to ever learning Roman numerals, so it just confuses the ever-loving shit out of me.
I mean, I'm good with Roman numerals up until, like, 50. And then I always forget, like when you see end of TV programs from the 80s and it'd be like MCM, XV, blah, 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 I'm just like, do you know what? I'm not interested. Not interested in the slightest kind of thing. I know M is 1,000, C is 100, and a C before an M is 9. Yikes. Apple need to stop numbering the iPhones. Yeah, because they just missed them out. iPhone 8, iPhone 10, but it's an X, but you pronounce it as 10. Okay, great, mate. Nice and shite then. I love a big game. Yeah, it's proper shit, mate. No, it actually looks really good. Final Fantasy actually looks really good. Bibby was showing it me last night, and it looks Skyrim-ish, but modern. My issue, I've said with Bibby quite a few times, is not Skyrim. It's the fact that it is a what is it, 10, 11, 12, whatever, 15-year-old game. It's got some age to it. It's got a couple of wrinkles, which is a testament to how great it is because people are still playing it so far on. But if they did a modern one, I'd potentially give it a go. And Final Fantasy looks more like that kind of thing, so it does look good. Watch The Silo if you want to watch a new TV show. Is that the one that you was telling me about before? Or is that something new? Might need to take a drive down.
I think Samantha's watched that.
I don't know which. I'm going to have a look.
Is that Martin Compston? Is that him? Is that the thing? He's got like supernatural powers on what I think is a silo. The silo.
Stars Rebecca Ferguson and Avinash.
No, that's not the thing then.
Apple TV. All right, someone's doing well. Settle down.
The morning show was good for the season and a half that we watched of that.
Not seen it.
That was good. Oh, was it? Yeah, Good Morning America, the morning show, something like that. It's got Jennifer Aniston in and
you
Steve
did tell me
Carell.
to watch it, but I've not watched it unless you
Have
actually.
you seen Jury Duty yet?
No.
That's fucking brilliant.
That's
That's so good.
I'm still
It's
working
bad
my way
side,
through
but
the
it's so
Scream
good.
films. I just watched Scream 4 again yesterday, which is not great. But it's, you know what, a second watch, it's a bit better than I remembered, but it's still not great. But it's all right. It's all right. I might need to take a drive down. Fuck Degs off. Woo! Trouble in Paradise this morning, bloody hell. I'm not watching it. Slum it at MacD's. Yeah, exactly. It'd be cheaper. Put it in the Discord so people know. No. I'm streaming it. I'm not going to type it in the Discord, am I? God. But I can until I've spoken to Almost Famous and stuff anyway. But yeah, it'll just be a case of we're in the restaurant upstairs. When you rock up, you can order and buy your own burger. Jobs are good. Also, BYOB as well. As in buy your own beer, not bring. Jury Duty is good, says Tiny Yoda. What, the TV program or just generally? In the stream, you're right. Anyway, okay, we'll put a pin in this cycle then. Final Fantasy games are having the numbers ditched. Basically, Final Fantasy, it took 17 games before they realised, but Final Fantasy 17 is not going to be called 17 because, 17 implies that there's 16 previous games that you need to play, which isn't necessarily the case and is bad for audience acquisition. So they're potentially going to be getting rid of those. It's not set in stone, but we will keep our eyes on that, obviously, with any new game that gets released. Maybe tonight. Who knows? There will be a PlayStation showcase, and if Final Fantasy are going to throw something within those sort of games, obviously, not 17, yeah, because you're just 16's here, but still. PlayStation showcase tonight, we may get more Final Fantasy then. Where they're about 12:30, so we're okay. After my 10.5 hour trip. Do you know what? 12's just one of those people, innit, that loves to have something to complain about. Like, do I do a 24-hour stream? Nah, I'll do a 24-hour stream after a 13-hour work shift so I can stay awake for 43 hours just so I can complain about it. Do I go to Manchester? Nah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive to 3 different houses scattered across the UK just so it takes me 10.5 hours to get there, not including traffic. And then I can whinge about it for 3 months beforehand and afterwards. It's all right, 12. It's all right, 12. You get to see me and Bib, so it's worth it. Easy dubs. Cat was on the keyboard. The WWE thought after WrestleMania 2000 they could call the next one WrestleMania 17. Made it feel old, so they called it WrestleMania X7 until WrestleMania 21. Then they changed it almost every year afterwards. I get you now. Yeah. Stupid. I mean, Roman numerals, just throwing stuff in. Nah. How's that a fucking moan? I mean, it's 12. All you do is moan. Honestly, I've watched your stream many times. It's just a constant moan. I'm not going now. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we got the result we wanted. It took long enough. One day before. Happy format to you. Moan and shit myself. Yeah, exactly. I got another clip of 12 jumping on his stream yesterday. Fun times. Anyway, we'll put a pin in that. Next news article, because we are going to be running out of time if we keep waffling at this pace. But AKSHAY Patel at Game Rant says Insomniac insists Spider-Man 2 is a single-player game. Despite Miles Morales' voice actor claiming Marvel Spider-Man 2 will have co-op, Insomniac reaffirms that the game will be single-player. So Marvel Spider-Man 2 developer Insomniac Games has reaffirmed that the upcoming title will be a single-player game and is not available on poorer consoles like the Xbox Series S and X. Hashtag Xbox Boss. Nice. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, it doesn't say that actually in the article. I misread it. Doesn't say that at all. It just says that it will be a single-player game. Nice. Sorry, Tito. This clarification comes in response to a fan on Twitter who prompted the question about the title's gameplay after a recording of Miles Morales' voice actor Nadji Jetta from a Q&A session in 2022 surfaced online, which seemingly confirmed co-op gameplay. Xbox boss, nice. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 was revealed during the PlayStation Showcase in 2021, and there has hardly been any information on the game since then. Sony has always been tight-lipped about its big-name games, and that's exactly what it did with Spider-Man 2 as well. But the voice actor seemingly let slip some details where they say that the game will feature co-op gameplay. However, Insomniac's response to a fan on Twitter claims otherwise, which has left the fans wondering what it might actually be. Following the discovery of Jetta's, I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, so I'm just going to go out. Jetta's recording, Twitter user Sean Lear asked Insomniac whether the game features co-op gameplay or not, to which Insomniac responded, nope, it's an epic single-player adventure, end quote. But both the previous titles featured single-player gameplay, but the trailer for Marvel Spider-Man 2 featured both Peter Parker and Miles Morales going up against Venom, who will possibly be the game's main antagonist. Considering the trajectory those titles had, Insomniac's statement may or may not be entirely true, as both Spider-Men got their standalone titles, but might both be playable in this one. So players believe it could feature some form of co-op gameplay. Alternatively, several fans also theorized that by co-op, Jetta could have meant that the players would be able to switch between the two protagonists or might have specific missions where they could play as both of them. In addition to this, an August 2022 rumor had claimed that Spider-Man 2 will feature co-op gameplay, so clubbing that with the voice actor's comments, many gamers think it could be true and that Insomniac is just trying to salvage something here. Okay, we'll stop there. You get the idea. The next Spider-Man game, Spider-Man 2, due for release in September-ish, could potentially have a single player / co-op / just co-op / just single player / nobody really knows game. Thoughts, babe?
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Having two different characters flying around. Will it take the experience away from it being predominantly a single player game? I don't know how they would do it if they did do it. Whether or not it would be, if you're 50% of the way through the campaign and I joined your game, would I continue your campaign, or would we have to start one from the beginning? So we start off on 0% completion. I don't know. I think that they're always the kind of teething issues that you end up getting with games like this. It's like Borderlands. If I was a level 20 character and then you joined mine, you would instantly get wiped. You'd get more XP for everything that you killed, obviously, because the level of the characters will be quite high. But you coming in, I can't remember if it kind of meets in the middle, so you do have a chance, or you just end up coming up against the enemies that but the levels closer to me. Jesus, we got there in the end. But yeah, I feel like when you come to co-op games like that, I feel like that is probably the biggest teething issue as to how you actually implement a decent enough system for both people to have a good time within the game. But yeah, I mean, I don't think if not this next game, I don't think we're a million miles away from having a Spider-Man co-op experience. I just don't know how good it would be.
Yeah, the thing for me is you're looking at scalability here. Like, if it's a case of you got Spider-Man, great. And if it's a case of you got Miles Morales, great. And then you throw them in, and your co-op experience is changing between Spider-Man and Miles Morales. So you do one mission as Spider-Man, you do the next one as Miles Morales, or you'll do one of those missions where, like, obviously they've got webs, so it's not quite the same. But in The Last of Us, there'll be a bit where you push Ellie up onto a high ledge and she can't get you up, so you have to do something with Ellie, and then you cut back to Joel and do the bits. There may be some sort of stuff like that. Obviously, they've got webs and stuff, so it won't just be a case of getting up onto the ledge, because that's easy done. They could just walk up the walls, or that's it, straight up. But there may be that sort of stuff where you cut to Miles Morales, who uses his like electric-y sort of powers, then you cut back to Spider-Man, who does some straightforward web stuff, and so that stuff is the kind of co-op stuff. If they're gonna have any, that's how it works for me, and that would be acceptable for me in terms of Jetta, the voice actor for Miles Morales. He may not be an intrinsic gamer and have all of the jargon. So just calling that bit co-op could be cool. The character's co-op, job's good, and that might be what he goes for. And if that's the case, then that's fine. And that kind of makes sense to me, because if not, this is a phenomenal game. If you haven't played Spider-Man, I assume you just don't have a PlayStation console. And the reason for that is because it's so good. It's so good. Because it's only on PlayStation console. So obviously, if you've got an Xbox, you naturally don't have access to these experiences. But that is the strong point of the game. They don't have to develop for multiple platforms, which means the game's crisp. It's great. They've got much more time on making it flawless. But they also don't have to develop an online environment. Because this is a single-player game, they don't have to building any matchmaking, any server stuff that arguably changes things massively. If you already have multiplayer in there, adding storyline co-op stuff is a million times easier than adding co-op story stuff without any multiplayer environment. Don't get me wrong, completely different from doing like Call of Duty, having a co-op story and having general Call of Duty multiplayer are two very different games, but it's easier to add in the co-op story if you've already got the multiplayer there because you've already got the matchmaking, the lobbies, and all of that sort of instruction in there. They don't have this. So if they're saying this is a single-player game, I'm not sure how that's going to work unless they build in some sort of easy jump in for missions and so on. But like Bibby says, is that co-op gameplay saved? Will there be co-op mission? I don't know. So for me, maybe some form of couch co-op, possibly, but I feel like it's more just for the characters. But we'll see. Yeah. We'll find out soon. We could even find out tonight. Obviously, PlayStation Showcase 10 p.m. ish tonight. So yeah, we'll probably find out some stuff there.
Yeah. I've just, by the way, I know this is completely off topic, but I've just learned how to use Roman numerals. I can't believe it's taken me this long, and it's so fucking easy.
What? I, and then IV, and then V, and then VI.
It was the letters that represented numbers. That's always what I had trouble with, and also the fact that if you have an I before the V, it subtracts one. Didn't know that, so that makes sense.
Well, there you go. Learn maths with Bibby live on the scoop.
If only I paid this much attention in school, Graham.
Borderlands, you play at the highest level of you play at the level of the highest player. They could do a Portal and do a separate co-op story mode. Potentially, possibly. It's a lot of work. So with it not being something they've shouted about, I feel like it's. If we don't hear about it tonight, it's not happening. Let's put it that way. It could happen. They could just go, oh, by the way, yeah, fuck it. You've asked for it. Everyone's talking about it. Co-op, boom. We weren't going to mention it yet, but now, pow. But I'm not sure. I don't feel like it will, at this point, because it's not been mentioned, it's not happening for me, because that's such a big thing. If you have, I'll bring the article back up, two key characters in Peter Parker and Miles Morales on screen, two phenomenal characters from two very, very phenomenal video games, and you're not telling people that you can play together with your buddies? What are you doing? That's a huge, huge selling point. So Insomniac aren't backwards about coming forwards either. They would have done that already, is my opinion. But maybe it might be the Quidditch thing in Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy. Everyone thinks there's Quidditch, and then kind of later on they go, by the way, there's no Quidditch. And then they make some rough lines in the game as to, oh, Quidditch is cancelled for this season. Because they probably thought, fuck me, that's a lot of effort to build that in. We didn't realise how much physics go into a game of Quidditch. So, yeah, we'll leave that shit until later on. Maybe DLC if possible. And I feel like that's where we are with this. Even Naughty Dog didn't bring multiplayer to The Last of Us at launch because of how much work it is. And The Last of Us was in development for years. Spider-Man's last game came out alongside the launch of the PS5, so only a couple of years. So, and Insomniac are also working on Wolverine. So resources, it just doesn't sound right to me. But could be wrong. I absolutely could be wrong. That's shit. I'm not buying it now. At Tito, love you. Oh, nice. That's nice. Fuck you, Graham, says Tito. This is just because he's a mod. That's just what he's like. Phony says this to fuck you, Graham, just because he's P Honey. It is what it is. VILI are the best ones.
Vili Valo?
Vili Vilo?
I don't know.
Vilulivlu. Is that? I don't even know what L is.
Is it 50?
It could be. I don't know.
I've literally just been reading it.
But that's the thing. I was saying it earlier on. Your name? Oh, there you go. Nice. 5 5151. Is that Lake's name? 5151? How you doing, 5151? Hey, how you doing? Okay, moving ahead, starting to pick up the pace a little bit now. So after all of the talks, all the conversations about Microsoft's Activision Blizzard deal being cancelled, only in the UK, by the way. It's been approved in Europe. It's been approved in, I think I saw China approved it yesterday, but not the UK. And the UK was because Microsoft has an unfair advantage when it comes to cloud gaming. Well, PlayStation probably thinks the same. As this article by Andy Robinson at VG says, PlayStation says it will soon reveal aggressive plans for cloud gaming. Jim Ryan teases interesting take on the feature. So Sony Interactive Entertainment says it has, quote, aggressive plans, end quote, for the cloud gaming space, which it will reveal in the next few months. That's according to CEO Jim Ryan, who claimed during a business call on Tuesday that the PlayStation firm would reveal its plans, quote, over the course of the coming months, end quote, without elaborating further. Quote, we observe mobility in gaming habits to be an increasingly important trend, and the cloud will be fundamental to allowing us, or indeed anyone else, to exploit that trend, he said. Speaking of which, I've just had a text message. Back to burgers. Just had a text message from Almost Famous confirming that we are booked in. Nice. We observe mobility in gaming habits to be an increasingly important trend, and the cloud will be fundamental to allowing us, or indeed anyone else, to exploit that trend, he said. Unfortunately, today is not the place for me to disclose these plans, but we do have some fairly interesting and quite aggressive plans to accelerate our initiatives in the space of the cloud that will unfold over the course of the coming months, end quote. PlayStation has experimented with cloud features for over a decade, with its PlayStation Now service, now rolled into PS Plus, representing one of the early pioneers of the space. However, there is currently no ability to stream PlayStation games to mobile devices, which is a key feature of its console rival Xbox. Ryan's comments appear to suggest Sony Interactive Entertainment is exploring such functionality. Cloud gaming currently represents a small percentage of the global games market, but it's viewed as a potential disruptor for the future. Notably, regulators... Okay, we've spoken about the regulator stuff. We can leave it there. But PlayStation says it will get aggressive and will soon reveal those aggressive plans for its cloud gaming future. Thoughts, babe?
I feel like this is definitely something that we're all working towards, right? Again, wherever we talk about cloud gaming, we go all the way back to the original Xbox One conference where this was the future that they predicted. It just wasn't the right time. Even now, 13 years after the fact, we're still not at a point where houses up and down the UK, never mind globally, are in a position where they're able to have cloud gaming at their fingertips and enjoy it to a very decent level. Like mobile phone carriers, your chances are on 5G, you probably get a better download and upload speed than you do in your actual home.
Can confirm.
That's just because, yeah, can confirm. And that's because a lot of homes were built a long time ago, so they have to dig up the entire road to put all of the new wiring that goes through. We were on my street. We was actually the first people to have the ultra fast fiber that goes through, so we're able to get like 500 meg down now. As soon as BT rolled it out, we phoned up, we got it installed, and they had to put it in the junction box for the rest of the street to have it, because they dug up the road, but it just hadn't been activated yet. So if my little town is just getting this, I can't imagine the rest of the world, the rest of the UK having these kind of things. I mean, you live in the centre of Manchester, like, and your street doesn't have it yet. That doesn't bode well for the very, very small towns up and down the country that are quite remote and don't have the fastest internet speeds.
It's quite a flip a coin, because if you live in the middle of nowhere and you've got literal like cannon string internet kind of thing, they may just go gigabit internet out of nowhere. But you also may still have cannon string internet sort of shit. Whereas if you live in the city centre, they're doing so much development and redevelopment and brownfield site regeneration and stuff like that, that they're doing all the internets and stuff around you, that anyone around you, yeah, we're getting so close to junctions, it's just a couple of wires, jobs are good in. But also, on the flip side, you could be a more of a urban, suburban sort of place of living, and they go, do you know what? You've got decent internet already. You've got 100 meg, so you don't need the gig stuff. We'll do the copper and string connections first. And that's kind of where I find myself sitting. I looked at OpenReach and it was 2026. We'll get your internet sorted by the end of December 2026. To then they updated that to say, oh, actually, we can't commit to that. So, yeah, we don't have plans for you right now. And then they updated that with actually, you're back on the plans. But they haven't given me a firm date, so I assume back by the 2026 or something. That can obviously change overnight, and I know that has happened, particularly with a bunch of people near the office. They were, like Mark, had 2026 for his plans, and then they went, oh, by the way, we're doing your street next month, so you might have some interruptions, but then you'll have gigabit internet after that. I'm hoping that's what happens, because fuck yes, please. Fingers crossed. Then we won't have the scoop split into 14 segments on some days. You never know. Got no chance if you're on Virgin at the moment. Loads of people having issues with that. Never had an issue with Virgin. I've never had an issue either. It must be a Huddersfield thing. I mean, only issue I ever had was Talk, but they were absolute shit. So I think I don't think it's a brand specific thing entirely. It is very much geographic. I think a lot of my internet issues come from external hardware, like the wiring from the box to the house and stuff. And I have what they call fiber to the cabinet. So basically, all of my network is fiber internet to the cabinet, to the exchange. But then you get fiber to the home or fiber to the property, which is from the exchange to your house. You get fiber wire there. Most people that haven't had that done will have copper from the cabinet to the house, which is what I've got. So they need to update my wires. And I think when they do that, whatever the weakness is in the infrastructure will sort my shit out. But until that happens, fuck knows. And they're not going to sort it because they'll have to dig up the fucking floor just to see. It might be a loose wire or something. I don't know. So yeah, fuck knows what it is. But that's the thing. I know people that have Virgin and swear by it. I know people that have Sky, BT, Talk, all sorts of stuff, plus net as well, and swear by it. But I know for every one of those, someone that has issues with them as well. So I think it's just a case of roll the dice and see what you've got. You could have gigabit up super fast or whatever they call it. Hyper ultra mega fast. I don't know the fuck. They've got different names these days. It's like nobody wants to call it bronze, silver, and gold anymore. Because nobody wants a bronze. Silver, you're not too bad. You're not a loser, but you're not the winner. But silver's okay. But bronze means you lost, even though you've still made a podium finish. So now that's why you get silver, gold, and platinum these days. So silver is good. Gold is the win, but platinum is above winning. And that's what it is with fucking broadband names. Fiber, mega, ultra, giga fast stuff. So fuck knows what it's called. It's like PlayStation Plus naming conventions. Nobody knows. But yeah. So yeah, if you've got good internet, fuck you, is what I was trying to say. No, coming back to it. If you've got good internet, then hopefully that means that the cloud gaming future, winding it back around to PlayStation, is something that is good for you. I do feel that PlayStation did let the ship sail for them in that sort of sense. Even the CMA are worried that Microsoft's position of such an advanced state, obviously because they're Microsoft, but they picked up the slack that PlayStation have had on cloud gaming for 10 years. PlayStation bought Gaikai. Most people probably don't even know what Gaikai is, but that was early cloud technology, and PlayStation bought that with the idea of, well, this Gaikai's doing some good shit. This is when everyone was talking about your on lives of the world, long before fucking Luna and RIP Stadia existed. PlayStation bought Gaikai because they were looking at online cloud gaming that people can play without the need of a console, without the need of a box, and then just sat on it. Just, okay, we're out in front now, so we don't want to rock the boat. Everything's good. Whereas Xbox, one of the greatest things for them in the generation that they lost, obviously, was a lot of bad things in that generation, but one of the greatest things was that they had to think outside the box. They had to look at new initiatives, and it wasn't TV. It was playing games anywhere. And that's what they've done with the cloud gaming stuff, and it works incredibly well for the majority of stuff. I was playing at a Logitech event last week. I tried the new Logitech G Cloud device, which is badass, by the way, on hotel Wi-Fi, and Forza Horizon 5 still played very, very well on a portable device in a hotel. It was great. It was really good. So Xbox's Game Pass software, phenomenal. My own house sat within literal meters of both my PS5 and my router, and playing PlayStation's remote play stuff is absolutely tragic. So Xbox clearly have used the time. So PlayStation have got aggressive plans to move it forward. It's good because they need their plans to be aggressive, because at the moment they just don't have anything. It's limp, very, very limp, which is what she said. The main issue I had with Talk was a BT issue. There were fault on the poll. The customer service was horrific. I got Virgin Super Booters as I'm on 022, so doubled my speed for free. Jammy. Sounds like a knockoff Dragon Ball Z character. Gaikai does. Yeah. Raw, how you doing, dude? Hey. Why, love? It's been a while. It's been a while. I hope you will. I hope you will. We're talking about the fact that PlayStation now has plans for cloud gaming. Xbox obviously had Game Pass, and then what was called xCloud, which I feel was a better name, even though they just call it Xbox Cloud Gaming now. And PlayStation don't have nothing. So they're trying to get aggressive with that because they realize that's the future of video games. And it 100% is. Your consoles and stuff will always be important, but being able to play the games on the go, though, will also be mega important. And PlayStation realizes that they need to catch up there. So be interesting to see how they do that. I hope it's PlayStation has plans like PlayStation has gaming plans, because that's cool. I hope it's not PlayStation has plans like PlayStation plans to announce Discord, because that took 2 years longer than fucking should have done. So hopefully it's not that sort of plan stuff. But they're good with gaming stuff. Anything outside of the gaming sphere that ties into gaming doesn't tend to work so well. So I'm not confident we'll get any news on it anytime soon, but hopefully we do. Okay, one final news article then. 3 or 4 pretty big announcements are planned for Summer Game Fest live show. This year's kickoff event takes place on June the 8th. So Summer Game Fest host and producer and the man that writes the theme tune and sings the theme tune and plays the instruments in the theme tune, Jeff Keighley, has teased plans for several high-profile announcements at this year's live kickoff show. He didn't mention the theme tune stuff in the article, by the way. If you listen to this on demand, I added that just in case you couldn't tell. Billing itself as the, quote, global fan celebration of what's next in video games, end quote. Summer Game Fest will return for its 4th year with a live event on June the 8th at 8 p.m. BST, promising world premieres, live gameplay demos, and announcements. The 2-hour show will take place in front of a live audience at the YouTube Theater in Hollywood Park in Inglewood, California. As I always say with these shows, 1 or 2 games kind of makes the entire difference, Keighley said in an interview for the Epic Games website. As the producer, it's challenging because sometimes you have those games, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you think you have them and they drop out or change, end quote. While plans can always change, he said there were currently 3 or 4 things that he thinks are going to be pretty big for this audience. Keighley recently said Summer Game Fest 2023 will feature content from over 40 publishers, including PlayStation and Xbox. Titles featured at last year's Summer Game Fest showcase included Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Street Fighter 6, The Callisto Protocol, Gotham Knights, and The Last of Us Part 1. On the format, not the event this Thursday, just the show. On the format of this year's live show, Keighley added, quote, whereas the Game Awards is very much straight trailer, announcement, I think Summer Game Fest has a chance to talk to the developers and showcase games and give a little bit more context around the games. We're not giving out awards in the show. It really is just a kind of showcase of games. Nice. Yeah, I'm very positive for Summer Game Fest. A couple of things, couple of questions. One which I don't expect you to have the answer for. It's just a question for the room. It's at the YouTube Theater, and YouTube Theater is on the branding. Does that mean Summer Game Fest has signed an exclusive? Will we not get Summer Game Fest on Twitch? Interesting. Or have YouTube just gone, okay, we can just make sure we're front and center, and it will go out on Twitch as well, but we'll get the YouTube branding on Twitch. I mean, I much prefer the latter because everyone gets included, and YouTube realize sometimes the better marketing is not to cut off other people, but to use them for your benefit. So I hope that is the case. But then the thing in there, the thing that's interesting in there, this is the first time I've heard, I would say Jeff Keighley say, with these shows, 1 or 2 games makes the entire difference. It's challenging because sometimes you have those games, sometimes you don't, and sometimes you think you have them and then they drop out or change. That kind of sounds to me like he's saying something that I've never seen him say before, which actually gives me a bit of respect, is the fact that Summer Game Fests and Opening Night Live, less so the Game Awards, have been a bit crap. Don't get me wrong, they are a game fest and they celebrate video games and they give us a time to talk about games and stuff like that. But there is a lot of stuff out there that does that anyway, so we didn't really need that. But Jeff Keighley wanted that in his image. So, yeah, you wanted it to be successful for the gamers whilst also earning a shitload of money off the back of it because it is a business. So for me, boiling it down to the business side of things, it was never the greatest business because it was always a bit flat. And there was always a pomp and ignorance because as a brand, sometimes you don't want to admit that you're not quite the best out there. And Summer Game Fest for me wasn't the best out there. E3 was the best out there. And when E3 wasn't there, Summer Game Fest wasn't the best. It was just what was available. But I always felt that they never acknowledged that. But him saying that sort of stuff, like, you know what, it's kind of going, do you know what, we've not always had the games, or we've thought we've had games and dropped out. And if that is the case, then I respect it a lot more than, hey, we're the biggest, bestest thing in gaming, and fuck, you thought Game of Summer was over because E3's dead, fuck, we're here. And it's like, yeah, but you were here last year and it was shit. It wasn't shit, but it wasn't what you're trying to sell it as now. But if he's been a bit more honest with that, I have a bit more respect for him with that sort of stuff, because it's always, hi, I'm Jeff Keighley. I've made this biggest event. I've edited the trailer personally. 100% you will see that post in a week or two. When we get the trailer for Summer Game Fest live show, there will be, here's the trailer. It features 40 different games from 40 different publishers, and I edited it personally. Yeah, we know, Jeff. You do the same thing every year. But now we're getting a little bit of, okay, do you know what? We don't have to just big dick energy it. We can be a bit honest and say, do you know what, sometimes we don't have the biggest games, but we'll provide a show. We're not going to give out awards because we don't need this like self-high-fiving our mates in the industry, because people get that at the Game Awards anyway. So what we'll just do is bring content and we'll allow people to talk about it. And if it's not the biggest bit, then we'll acknowledge that. If that's the way, then suddenly I'm getting a lot more respect for Summer Game Fest. Anyway, that's my big old rant on it. What are your thoughts, babe?
Yeah, I do agree with him, though, in the sense that not having, if you've got 2 or 3 good games within a show that has 15 games, then that's how people see it, don't they? Like, how many times have we seen people ranking the shows out of 10? And it could be an absolute snooze fest. It could be a 3 out of 10 all the way through until the very last announcement, and it'll be a game that you've been waiting for the longest time. And then the show then comes out at 9 out of 10, or a 10 out of 10 in some people, depending on the IP, how long it's been potentially away for, or something that's been in development for so long and then ends up getting released.
Not to cut you off, obviously, I'll leave you going, but to echo that point, what about the first year that PlayStation didn't go and Microsoft, everyone thought, well, Microsoft's going to win E3, and then they didn't have a killer conference, so everyone was like, well, PlayStation weren't there and somehow still won E3.
Yeah, so that's I do feel like the be all and end all of any kind of showcase or any kind of show, we'll just put it's like an umbrella statement. Obviously, they're only as good as the games that are being shown in it, so yeah, I do agree with him in that sense. Obviously, you need good games to be able to prop the show up, and I imagine it, as someone who's obviously been producing content and doing show orders and things like that, you kind of build around the big things. You put the big things in, like very much in like football, you have your star player and then you build around them to try and bring them into the team and to try and get the best out of your team / show in this instance. So yeah, I do believe that having decent games in your show will obviously propel that into a different stratosphere. So let's hope that Summer Games Fest obviously gives us something that's worth watching. Very similar to the PlayStation Showcase tonight. You could say that about any of the Xbox, Nintendo Directs, or any other conference that's going to be shown this year. They're only worth watching, and they're only as good as the games that are being shown.
Yeah. I mean, I the bit about having more respect as well, that kind of builds into it, because you imagine selling space or selling the idea of space. And for anyone that doesn't know what I'm saying, is like, if you're Jeff Keighley at Summer Game Fest, you need to get Activision to go, okay, we were going to do our own event, or we were going to be in the Sony event, or we were going to be in the Xbox event, but yeah, we will put our content in your show. And that is often done by, you get your Activision to give you Call of Duty, and you go, okay, we will give you cash. That's the best one, but often it's not the cash. It's, okay, we will give you tentpole advertising. You will be on all of our banners. If we have an arena, you'll be on the front of the arena. You will be either the first or the last trailer to be shown during the broadcast, so it has the most impact. That sort of stuff gets them in. But then you get Activision to give you Call of Duty. Then you speak to your indie brands, and then you're suddenly going, mate, if you want eyes on your thing, not only are you going to be at Summer Game Fest, which is going to be live from the YouTube Theatre in LA, by the way, but we also have all of these stats from our previous years, so that's great exposure for you. But also, you see yourself as a brand that doesn't compete with, but can sit alongside Call of Duty. We also have Call of Duty in this, so that will bring 7 million viewers just for Call of Duty games, and we'll put you next to Call of Duty. So yeah, okay, so people start going, okay, well, I'll shell a few quid. Yep, I'm definitely in for this. I'm in for this. But then if Call of Duty goes, actually, do you know what? Can't do it. Then other people start dropping out, and it has that sort of domino effect because big brands are valuable to other brands. Well, if Call of Duty's not going to be there, no one's going to watch, and if no one's going to watch, what am I spending money for? So no, if you can't get me Call of Duty in the event, it's a completely different game, nothing to do with my business, but it's a lot to do with my exposure. So these 3 or 4 pretty big announcements for the Summer Game Fest show will 100% make or break it. I don't feel like Summer Game Fest has had these announcements before. I don't feel like Opening Night Live has had these announcements before. The Game Awards has. They have and I think that's because it's December. It's that Christmas month, early December as well. It's usually around my birthday, between mine and Bibby's. 3rd to 9th of sort of December is where Summer Game Fest usually pops up. It's either on my birthday weekend or Bibby's birthday weekend, basically. And that's because it's the last possible moments where you can fully market to the world that might still have some revenue left to spend stuff before Christmas, or start seeding ideas for next Christmas. So it's the Super Bowl halftime show of the video games segments in a key window. So that's why Summer Game Fest, not Summer Game Fest, the Game Awards smashed it. Summer Game Fest has never had that, but E3 has repeatedly had that. And I think there's a number of reasons. That's because brands have realized they don't need E3 and all that sort of stuff. But there is still a hunger for that E3 showcase, a big central showcase where you get Xbox games, where you get in PlayStation games, where you get EA and Ubisoft and all that sort of stuff. And if you get all of that to come together in Summer Game Fest, and Summer Game Fest gives us a proper festival of games in the summer, then that's when the name earns itself. Because I don't feel like we've had it yet. I feel like Jeff Keighley is trying something, and I feel like he's done some great stuff, particularly with content creators, not with us, but with global media and international content creators. Summer Game Fest has a really, really good way of interacting with that. I don't think they publish what they do with it, but essentially you've got your event where people can come along and play games. But before that, they also have a week where creators essentially go down to an office, for want of a better phrase. And that seems a bit flat. But as a creator, going to E3, which is a massive exhibition center, and then having to rock up at a desk inside of temporary stand to be able to play stuff with lots of background noise and shit, it's just not great for your content, for your concentration, for your output. But going to a private office space that's built for playing and recording and stuff like that the week before, which gives you time to edit your content together to get it out alongside the show, that's the stuff where Jeff Keighley has been smashing it. So if he can get video content alongside a true understanding of how to put the video games content creation process together, then Summer Game Fest will win. I don't believe it's got there yet. I believe they can pander for, and it sounds negative, I don't mean it as a negative way, but they can pander for creators. They just need the brands to pander for them now. And if you can get that with the 3 or 4 pretty big announcements, Summer Game Fest could be absolutely huge. And at that point, rip E3. But until they do that, E3 still has a chance because there is no competitor. So there you go. Anyway, I've just realised that I've been with Virgin for 25 years, if you include me taking over my dad's account after he died. He joined in the old Cabletel days. Well, there you go, David. Thank you for that information. Kenny, Manchester, oi, oi! I'll read. Looking forward to it, Kenneth.
Oi, oi.
Kenny's coming. Do you know what? I actually have it on good authority that Kenny is 3'6".
I was still taller than you then.
Yeah, you're 3'2", mate. What are you about to catch?
Wide.
So David has been a virgin for 25 years. Yes, he has. Correct. Yeah. Oh, so if you missed it, I'll give you a little bit of a recap. We are finished with the news for today's show, by the way. We did have a few stories. We spoke about the fact that Square Enix is not making Final Fantasy 17 because they're ditching numbers. They will continue to make Final Fantasy games, but they're going to reorder the structure of their naming of titles, or they're going to look at it anyway, because 16 comes with a lot of weight, 17 will come with even more, so they might change it up for the next one. Spider-Man 2 is a single-player game. There may be some co-op stuff in it in terms of playing with multiple characters, but the game is not a co-op game. It's not multiplayer, it's single-player. PlayStation will get aggressive with its cloud gaming plans in the future, according to Jim Ryan. And I say in the future, he said within the next few months, so we'll see how that goes. But like I said, we were supposed to get Discord in 12 months, and it took more like 48, so we'll see.
Forever.
Goddamn right. Xbox, it wasn't quite 48, by the way. Xbox Game Pass continues its hot streak with another critically... Oh, I forgot about this one. Oh, yeah. So we have one story left. We spoke about 3 or 4 big announcements coming for Summer Game Fest Live, which we just did then. But to wrap things up, I will jump into this article. I forgot we still had one left, but this is only a quick one anyway. If you have Xbox Game Pass, this is a game that I've seen quite a bit of, actually. Planet of Lana seems like a must-play for Game Pass subscribers. Just by chance, a few of the people that I follow, be that content creators or PR people, cover this game. So I've seen a lot of people talking about this. It was like high 8s, like slash mid 8s. I think it was Metacritic, and around 84, 85-ish, maybe a bit higher. But it's in Game Pass, so nice. Anyway, Oisin Kuhnke has the article. It says, Xbox Game Pass continues to prove its value with Planet of Lana receiving incredibly strong reviews ahead of it dropping on the service tomorrow, which was yesterday. One of the best things about Game Pass is the way it gives you the opportunity to try out the smaller games in between your playthroughs of the biggest hits of the year. There's plenty of great smaller titles like Citizen Sleeper or Signalis, and now, if you're looking for something else to play, it seems like Planet of Lana might be the perfect choice. Reviews have started to come in for Planet of Lana, an Xbox console exclusive that drops in Game Pass tomorrow, May 23rd, and they are looking incredibly strong. Games Radar gave the game a 4.5 out of 5, highlighting its fantastic variety of puzzle scenarios and numerous memorable moments. Rock Paper Shotgun didn't score its review, but said that cinematic action sequences environments are worth your 6 hours. 6 hours? You can't go wrong with a 6-hour game as well.
You can't.
If you haven't heard about Planet of Lana, it's in the vein of cinematic platforms like Limbo, though with a slightly brighter and more colourful environment. You should expect similar kinds of puzzles with its own take on the genre. Plus, it really does have quite a gorgeous-looking art style. Planet of Lana isn't the only gem on Game Pass this month. Okay, I'll stop there with the articles. It goes on to other stuff, but there you go. A bunch of scores: 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 7.75. Wow, that's a pretty bespoke number. 7.75 out of 10. Mate, at that point, you need it out of 100. Just get to it. 77.5 out of 100. God damn. So yeah, there you go. Planet of Lana. If you are an Xbox gamer and you have Game Pass, then you've got 6 hours to spare. Give that a try. Apparently, it's decent from what I've seen. I don't know. I've not played it myself, and I'm just going off of mutuals. And naturally, a lot of my mutuals work in and around the game, so probably have a vested interest. But despite that, it's still scoring pretty well, as you've just seen there. Within the article, God is a Geek is a site that I have a lot of respect for. They've given it 9 out of 10, so can't complain for freebies. 9 out of 10, let's go. Yeah, I'm waiting for a billionaire from Dubai to offer a good price, but no takers yet. Nice. Best ginger? Question mark? Excuse me? What? Where did this come from? Did I say best ginger? What? I don't know. On that bombshell, I'll pass it over to the best ginger. We're going to wrap things up. We're going to be back not tonight for PUBG, but maybe tonight for the PlayStation Showcase. But before that, Mr. Bibb, is what you'd like to add?
Yes, again, thank you very much to each and every one of you that have joined us for today's episode of The Scoop. We've only got one show potentially this week. I mean, I said we was going to be back to normal on Monday, but it's just that everything's coming in thick and fast at the moment, and we are the only 2 hosts that have this, so we can't defer it to anybody else when we're picking up a load of work. But eventually we're going to be going live again at some point in the very near future, so if you want to help shape that show, there's 2 ways that you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms. Alternatively, get involved with our Discord. If you're watching this on any of our on-demand services, go into the description below. All the links that you require will be listed there. But all we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time? At some point in the very near future. Friday?
We will be live at 10 a.m.-ish on Friday-ish. That's all the ish. The best ginger bit, for anyone listening on demand, by the way, was a video within the article. So obviously, when we read through the articles, this article was on VG247, written by Oisin Kuhnke, and embedded in that was a video article from VG247, which says, "What's the best game with a ginger protagonist?" So the thumbnail was "Best Ginger?" ? Which is what P Honey was asking in the chat. So there you go. That's where it came from. But yes, we will be potentially back around 10 p.m. tonight because the PlayStation Showcase is going ahead. Obviously, keep that loose. We might not go live. I am doing a barbecue and stuff this evening because I'm going to be formatting tomorrow with all the homies. The boys are going to be AFK tonight, so rather than play PUBG tonight, I'm going to use the day and the sunshine to have some burgers and sausages with the familia. So I recommend
rude.
you guys do the same thing. But if all of the burgers have been consumed, all the barbecue was good and stuff, and everything is cushed there, all set for format, then I'm going to watch the PlayStation Showcase. So I might as well watch it with you guys live, right? So that's the plan. But obviously, take that with a pinch. It might not happen. If that is the case, Bib says that he might be on too. He just needs to keep the noise down. So you might just get me. You might get me and Bib. You might get neither of us. We'll see. It's one of those. It's one of those. We keep you waiting. Keep you waiting. The best thing to do, though, you can just follow the channel on Twitch. If you're watching right now and you think this has been an okay podcast, then do drop a follow because then you will get notified when we go live. Whenever. Easy dubs. Can't fight to the death as gingers have no souls. I am the best ginger. Facts. That is true, to be fair. Because Tito has something of mine. And until I get that, Tito is the best at everything. Because you know, he has the ability to lord it over me. So, absolutely.
I mean, that's absolutely fair.
He's the #1 mod. He's the best ginger. All of it. It's true. All of it. Anyone want to go XLR? No. On that bombshell, have yourselves a beautiful day. You're all beautiful people. Once again, we appreciate you dropping in. Video game podcasts is not the most exciting content on Twitch, but yet you guys still drop in and support us with views, with chat, with your opinions, and with your 17-month sub precision. We appreciate that very much because we do this because we enjoy it, we work in it, and it's good to turn it into creative content for us. And if it's creative content for you, even better. So we appreciate you rocking up. But have yourselves a beautiful day. Keep your eyes on our socials tomorrow for all of the latest from Format, and we may see you tonight. But if not, until next time, stay frosty.
Stay frosty.